And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Shaping Success. I'm your host, Wes Tankersley. I just wanted to kind of do a little bonus episode. I had something really exciting happen last night, and I just want to tell you a little story about the time that I got to actually kind of talk with Adam Carolla, meet him, FaceTime him. It was pretty exciting. So for those of you who know, I've done this podcast. I've got over 100 and something episodes, and the last one that I dropped, I believe it was on Monday, we talked about the law of attraction and surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and things just kind of fall in place when you do things like that. So this was one of those situations that was pretty damn cool, and I was excited to get a chance to do this. So you guys know my buddy Jhae Pfenning. Him and I do One Drink Wednesday. He was actually on Monday's episode. We talk a lot. We hang out a lot online. I mean, it's not like it's one of those deals where he lives in Arizona, I live in Idaho, and we do these things together. And so anyway, Jhae is got an Acura NSX. He's into that type of car. Really cool. If you haven't checked out our episode, he talks a lot about his car that he had wrapped and got into SEMA with a Macross Robotech fighter look. It was a really cool car. He still has it, but he goes to these NSX events all the time. And he ended up last night in Monterey with a guy named Adam Carolla. And Adam Carolla, I've listened to him for a long time. Most of you may know who he is. He was on Loveline way back in the day. They did The Man Show was where I think I first saw him. And we're talking 20 years ago because, I'm 40 and this was a long time ago. So anyway, I'm sitting in bed last night and I knew Jhae was going to be around Adam. And, I think Jhae doesn't let on as much information as he knows about Adam or how he knows Adam. I know he's shaken his hand before and introduced himself to him in years past because he's at Monterey Car Week all the time. I've been listening to Adam this year a lot. He's got 3 shows that are really informative, really cool, really fun to listen. And it's an acquired taste. Not everyone likes Adam. I think he's pretty straightforward, and that's, I just like to listen to like a fresh take on being kind of objective about things and just looking at things from having open eyes instead of letting other people tell you what it's about. So anyway, last night Jay's like, "Hey, I'm here, blah, 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 blah." And then he goes live and he's showing the video of this Acura NSX Type R release, which is, pretty bad. I'm saying Type R, but it's Type S. He's probably going to kick my ass because I'm a car guy, but I'm not a car guy. Like, I'm into trucks and 4-wheel drive off-road stuff. And I've been in Jay's car, and it's pretty badass, and it hauls. But anyway, he's checking out this unveiling of this new NSX, which is a mid-engine, basically supercar. Really cool car. And I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we see these people that, I'm watching a live feed that Jay's got going. We see these people like I saw Matt the Motivator, D'Andrea, who has been on Jay's podcast, and then he's talking to Adam Carolla. And I knew he was going to be around there, and I knew he was going to see Adam. And so, this is, if you know me, I go to bed pretty early. And so I'm getting in bed, and I lay down, and, I'm kind of looking at my phone and stuff here and there, and then I put my phone down, and about 9:30, I get a text message, but I didn't know that it had happened. And Jay had texted me, and he's like, "Where are you?" Well, I put my phone at 9 o'clock. It goes on Do Not Disturb. So I can pick it up, and I can see that he texted me, and I'm like, oh, shit, I missed it. Because he told me in the live feed that he had a surprise for me. Well, I'm like, shit, I missed it. So I jumped up. I run out of the room. My wife's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, Jay's trying to FaceTime me. Because he had tried to FaceTime me. And I'm like, he's got something cool going on. He wouldn't try to FaceTime me at 9:30, whatever. And so I go downstairs and sit at the counter. I'm like, I'm up now. And I'm like, oh, crap, I missed my opportunity. Because I kind of had this idea that this was going on, but it was one of those deals. So I had missed my opportunity. A couple minutes later, he texts me back. He's like, "I'm going to FaceTime you." I'm like, holy shit. And by the way, I'm sorry I'm cussing a little bit because it's kind of an interesting story. And if you know me, you know that I try to, curb that a little bit. But for the most part, I have a pretty foul mouth. And when he called, I picked up the phone, and there's Jay, and he says, "Someone wants to talk to you." and he pans it over, and it's Adam Carolla. And the first thing out of my mouth was, "It's Adam fucking Carolla." And I said that just like that. And Adam, without a beat, says, "You're goddamn right it is." And that was just the coolest thing ever. So then, we're talking, and earlier in the day I was listening to, he's got his Classics podcast going on right now, because he's not, he does a live show every day or a news show every day. And he's in Monterey, so he's not doing this. But the first thing he does is, here I'm sitting downstairs. I have my tank top undershirt on, because I was in bed. I get out of bed and I put some stuff in my hair, and I didn't do it last night, but I had it from the morning. And so my hair kind of falls out of place. And one of the things about Adam is that he always talks about how he talks about how he goes and gets a haircut at Supercuts, and he doesn't pay that much, and he just puts whatever product that's cheap or whatever, if he puts any in there, but he doesn't, because he's kind of got that, he calls it a Brillo head Jufro is what he calls it. And he doesn't have to put anything in his hair, and he's all about saving time and things like that. So when he looked, the first thing he said to me was "Look at that fucking pomade in that guy's hair." And it was hilarious, because he was talking about my hair, because it was, you could obviously see that I had something in it, but not, whatever. And he had just been talking about that on his podcast. So anyway, it was really cool conversation. I wish I got a chance to record it, but I did not. And without Jay, I would have never got a chance to talk to Adam Carolla, which is pretty cool. And one day I hope to either be on his podcast or have him on mine. But that was pretty exciting. Adam's got a great story, and that's what Shaping Success is about sharing stories with people so that they can see that it doesn't matter where you start. And I kind of have one of those stories, which is I failed out of college. I started out changing tires, and I did that for 11 years. And I think that we don't put enough emphasis on those trades, and we think that that's not a good job. And we need those type of people. We need people willing to do that work. And if I didn't fall apart, I may very well still be changing tires, but with the knee surgeries and things like that. So going back to college, getting a couple degrees, teaching, finding out that I didn't like that, it wasn't for me. And then doing what I'm doing now, there is a need for every single type of job, whether you believe it or not. And, Adam started out as a carpenter, and then just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, met Jimmy Kimmel through teaching him how to box and not taking no for an answer. And that's a cool story to me, and then now you look at him, he's got his own podcast platform. He races cars. He went from living in, the garage converted bedroom in his parents' house to having all the things that he has now. But it took hard work. And that's really what it boils down to, is you can do whatever the hell you want, but you got to be willing to work for it. So anyway, I hope that, I know it's a short little episode. I hope that, my story is kind of cool for you, but because it definitely was for me. And this is Friday. I'm going to put this out here. I'm recording it right now, but I'm putting it out about a half hour. It's just going to be a bonus episode. But the time I met Adam Carolla was pretty exciting. And I'm going to try and meet him next year. I'm going to try and go with Jay to this Monterey Car Week next year, because I think that it would be really cool to actually get to shake Adam's hand. So anyway, I hope you have a great day. Until next time, I challenge you to find the shape of your success.